Hello!
Hello!
Glasgow, I get some bad news recently. I was diagnosed with a mental health problem. Where you call general anxiety disorder. This is the one where you cry a lot, you have panic attacks, and you have what they call irrational fears. I'll wait till you're finished. I'm much more commonly known in the area as a shite bag. But I genuinely do have a lot of fears. I have an irrational fear of flying. Does anyone share this? No. Well done. An irrational fear of flying, which I don't think was all that irrational recently. I saw this news story about an aeroplane that to make an emergency landing in America because the roof came off the plane. Now, that's scary stuff. The most amazing thing about this story though is that there's a YouTube video from inside the plane. Now, I don't know at what point through your own demise you think, I probably should film this. But I can only imagine it went something like this. And because it's America, I'm going to do the accent, so. Look, Hank. The roof's pure coming after a plane. Oh aye, so it is Crystal Hen. Quick pass with the camcorder. And she starts to film that. Now, if that was to happen, if that plane was to lead to Glasgow, there would be no video evidence. I can only imagine this plane would be going for somewhere more exotic, possibly on its way to Magaluf. And there'd be a couple of hen nights on board. They would just see that as an opportunity to stick their head out the sunroof, have a couple of fags, and flash their tits at the passing planes. One of the scariest things to happen in Glasgow recently was the nuclear fallout was found in the city centre. I was terrified. I thought my sister's pet terrapin would turn into some kind of giant Godzilla-like creature. Now, thankfully that didn't happen, but why don't these creatures ever come to Scotland? Why don't they come to Glasgow? They always go somewhere nice for their holidays, like Tokyo or New York. But I suppose it's probably just a lack of very tall buildings rather than any sort of giant monster-based snobbery. But if Godzilla was to come up here now, out the Clyde, it'd be Science Centre. Fuck all else to do. Oh, should I listen to Gong? And to make matters worse, his pal Kong booked that nice holiday. He went to New York and he's loving it. He's been everywhere. And he sends Godzilla a postcard. There's a picture of Kong on the postcard at the top of the Empire State Building, swatting away planes. And depending on what country you come from, there's a small woman inside who's either filming that or just flashing them. But that wouldn't happen in real life, because in real life, Kong would just post that picture on Facebook. That and it's a film. I have an irrational fear of films. I do have an irrational fear of films. I don't like scary films. To make up a rule, before I watch any film, I need to follow this rule. I need to know that I can kill the main character. So, we can all do it, it's quite easy. Do you guys know how to kill a vampire? Maybe yourself? No, it doesn't. You are fucked, mate. Maybe you, mate. How'd you do it? Right. For those that don't know, it's a stake through the heart, sunlight, or holy water. Any of these things will work. So, with all this handy information, I will now happily sit down and watch the Twilight Saga. So I know that I can kill Edward. If he's in Glasgow, I don't care if he's got a team. I'm going to leave on this. Actually, blame my parents. I genuinely am. I'm scared of quite a lot of stuff. Films is just one of them. But I'm going to leave on this. I think being a parent is probably one of the scariest things, and some of the more astute ladies will have noticed that I'm married. If we're planning on having kids, but I think it's quite scary, and I asked my mum for some advice. I come from quite a big family. I've got 7 brothers and sisters, and I didn't know how you manage to conceive 8 children whenever you've got so many. You don't get very much free time. So I said to her, when do you find that me time? She says, well, Liam, it's quite simple. Your dad's idea of foreplay is to open a packet of Smarties, throw them under the couch, while you all fought each other over floor sweets, it would whisk me upstairs for 2 minutes in heaven. Ladies and gentlemen, how long does it take to conceive a child? Only smarties have the answer. Thank you.